The medulla oblongata is the upward continuation of the spinal cord. It forms the lowest part of the brainstem. It comprises of an open superior part continued with the fourth ventricle and a lower or inferior closed part which continues with the central canal of the spinal cord. The medulla oblongata is divided into two halves, right and left, by anterior median fissure anteriorly and the posterior median fissure posteriorly. Further, each half is divided into anterior, lateral, and posterior aspect by anterior lateral sulcus and the posterior lateral sulcus. Over the anterior aspect of the medulla oblongata, superiorly we'll see an elevation which is formed by the pyramidal tracts and hence is termed the pyramid. It involves the corticospinal tracts and the corticobulbar tracts. Laterally, also the superior aspect of the medulla has an oval elevation which is termed as the olive. It is due to the underlying grey matter nucleus termed the inferior olivary nucleus. The anterior median fissure superiorly ends with the foramen cecum. From the foramen cecum, overlining the pyramids run transverse fibers termed external arcuate fibers. Emerging roots of the hypoglossal nerve, that is the 12th cranial nerve, arises from the anterior lateral sulcus between the olive and the pyramids. Over the inferior aspect of the medulla oblongata, the pyramidal fibers cross, forming the pyramidal decussation. The posterior region lies between the posterior lateral sulcus as such and the posterior median sulcus. These are the posterior lateral sulcus and the posterior medial fissure. Following is the olive. At the posterior aspect of the medulla, there are three longitudinal elevations. From medial to lateral, they are the fasciculus gracilis, the fasciculus cuneatus, and the infracerebral peduncles or the inferior cerebral peduncles. The upper aspect of the posterior part of the medulla forms the floor of the fourth ventricle. The elevation for fasciculus gracilis is due to the underlying nucleus called nucleus gracilis, the nucleus cuneatus for fasciculus cuneatus, and just lateral to it, the accessory cunate nucleus. At the inferior aspect, looking posteriorly, the lateral side of the posterior medulla has elevations, termed the tuber cinerum. Therefore, the round roots for trigeminal nerve. The posterior lateral sulcus between the olive and the posterior side of the medulla has the nerve emerging roots for glossopharyngeal, which is 9th, vagus, which is 10th, and spinal accessory, which is 11th. When a transverse plane is passed through the lower medulla, the internal structures look somewhat like this, with a large grey matter and surrounding white matter. The most important feature at the lower levels of the medulla oblongata is the pyramidal decussation. The lateral corticospinal tracts will cross and moves anteriorly to form the pyramids. In doing so, it divides the anterior horn of the grey matter into two parts, a medial part and a lateral part on the both sides. The medial part develops to form the nucleus for the C1 nerve, that is first cervical nerve, and the lateral part will form the grey matter nucleus for the spinal accessory nerve, which is the 11th cranial nerve. Due to pyramidal decussation, the central canal of the lower medulla is pushed backwards. Also, the grey matter is large and nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus are still merged with the central grey matter. Laterally, the grey matter extensions involve for the nucleus of the trigeminal nerve, forming the spinal nucleus for the trigeminal nerve. The white matter of the interior of the lower part of medulla is mostly correspondent with the spinal cord itself, forming the dorsal and ventral spinocerebral tracts. Most important feature is the decussation of corticospinal tracts and corticobulbar tracts to form the pyramid via the pyramidal decussation. Also, fasciculus gracilis and fasciculus cuneatus are also incompetent. Passing a transverse plane through the middle of the medulla oblongata, following internal structures will be seen. The central grey matter has been split into multiple grey matter nuclei. Specifically, nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus on both sides become independent of the central grey matter. Simultaneously, spinal nucleus for trigeminal nerve also becomes independent. Apart from these, lower parts of the inferior olivary nucleus will also be visible. Apart from these, the central canal has been further pushed back and there are specific three major grey matter nuclei. From anterior to posterior aspect, they are the hypoglossal nucleus, the vagal nucleus, and the nucleus tractus solitarius. After the decussation moves longitudinally upwards as the pyramidal bundles. Further in the white matter, the fasciculus gracilis and the fasciculus cuneatus ends at their respective nuclei. From here, these give out lemnisci or to form the medial lemniscus. Sensory decussation is the most important feature at this level. These are formed called the medial lemniscus. It is important to note that the fasciculus gracilis, carrying sensitive impulses from the lower part of the body, sends out decussating sensory fibers which will end at the anterior aspect of the medial lemniscus, not on the posterior. As a result, the medial lemniscus will carry longitudinally upward sensory fibers from its anterior to posterior aspect from the lower body to the upper body. By passing a transverse section or a transverse plane through the upper part of medulla, the following internal structures are visible. As we can see, the central canal has been opened up to form the floor of the fourth ventricle. Central grey matter has completely split to form separate nuclei following the hypoglossal nuclei, the dorsal nucleus of vagus, the nucleus tractus solitarius. Apart from these, additional nuclei for grey matter arises, forming the dorsal and the ventral cochlear nuclei, the medial and the inferior Vestibular nuclei. The olive, which is an elevation at the lateral aspect of the medulla, comprising of the nucleus for the inferior olivary nucleus. Apart from these, accessory olivary nucleus are also visible. The shape is of a crumpled purse. Within the reticular formation of the upper medulla, a grey matter nucleus termed nucleus ambiguus is also visible. The grey matter nucleus for spinal tract of trigeminal nerve is also present. The white matter in this region comprises of the pyramidal fibers, the medial lemniscus running longitudinally, also the medial longitudinal bundles. Arcuate nucleus are basically pontine nucleus which got separated from the pons, reach downwards and encapsulates the pyramids up front. At this level, the emerging fibers of hypoglossal nerve from the hypoglossal nucleus are seen, and the vagus nerve is formed by the dorsal nucleus of vagus, the nucleus tractus solitarius, and the nucleus ambiguus intermittent communications. The projections furrowing backwards are termed as the medullary velium, and these greater white matter fibers are termed as the inferior cerebral peduncles, which runs towards the cerebellum. The medulla is supplied by the anterior spinal artery at its anterior aspect and the posterior lateral aspect by the posterior inferior cerebral arteries. The medial medullary syndrome occurs due to blockage of the anterior spinal artery. Since these arteries supply these regions as so, involves the hypoglossal nucleus, the medial longitudinal bundles, the medial lemniscus, and the pyramidal fibers. The symptoms involve contralateral hemiplegia due to involvement and damage to the pyramidal fibers, which decussates later on. Contralateral loss of sensory sensations due to involvement of the medial lemniscus, and paralysis of the same sided tongue due to involvement of the hypoglossal nerve of that particular side. The lateral medullary syndrome occurs due to blockage in the posterior inferior cerebral arteries supplying these regions. It is categorized by the loss of pain and temperature receptivity on the opposite side of the body due to damage to lateral spinothalamic tracts. Due to damage of the vagus nerve as so formed, secondaries are produced. Horner's syndrome due to damage to sympathetic chain. Due to damage to the nucleus for spinal tract of the trigeminal nerve, there is ipsilateral loss of pain and temperature over the face.